Of all the charts I've traded in crypto, I've made the most money trading this chart.
Today I interview AJ of AJ Writes Crypto, Bitcoin's next move. I think everybody's wondering, what do the charts say? As he shares his technical analysis for Bitcoin and what comes next.
Minimum 120, like minimum 120. I would like to see it push.
And watch today's whole interview as AJ shares advice for new traders today. What's some advice or some perspective you would give to like a new trader trying to figure out the charts? Join me on Bybit with referral code Altcoin Daily and grab a $20 sign-up bonus, as well as earn up to $30,000 in exclusive rewards. Link down below. And AJ, let's start with your background.
Hey, thanks so much for having me. Really, really appreciate it. Been watching Altcoin Daily since 2019. And to be on the channel, that means the world to me. Thanks a lot.
I love that, and I appreciate you saying that. And you put out great perspective, great charting. Just for the folks at home that don't know you, could you talk about your background and how you got into trading?
Yeah, sure. I mean, like I grew up like racing motocross and skateboarding and playing in like pop punk bands as a kid. And then, you know, those things, once you grow up, you have to like get a real job, you know? And then like my 20s was a roller coaster. And then towards the end of my 20s, I started to learn about crypto, like slowly but surely dipped my feet in from like 2016. And then I learned more and more as I went. And then I would say probably like, 2019, 2020 is when I really started to take things seriously. 2021, I was a writer for BitBoy Crypto, and I worked with him for a couple of years. And we still are in the same office now, but he owns his stuff, I own my stuff, and we coexist together. And I have my own YouTube channel. It's only been out for like 6 months. Really, my YouTube channel isn't that old, but I've been around for a while. So I just kind of progressively have got more and more involved as time has gone on. And yeah, I've been full-time crypto for a couple of years now, and it's certainly like the best choice I've ever made for my life, you know?
Well, the link for your YouTube channel, your Twitter down below. I encourage our audience, if they like what they see, if we get into these charts and the perspective is quality, which I think it will be, check out the links down below. AJ, let's jump right in. Bitcoin's next move. I think everybody's wondering, what do the charts say?
Sure. So on your screen right here is the Bitcoin 2-day chart. And a couple things yell at me the second I look at this chart. The first thing is, let me pull this over here. The first thing is, it's unfortunate. We kind of have this slightly lower high idea, like kind of pushing that direction. And that's not the direction we want to see the trend line go. So there's kind of this idea. This is the 2-day, keep in mind. Another thing that yells at me is like, so the oscillator down here is market cipher B. It's sort of like an RSI. And see how like in the past when we were over here, how high up it came, that would like kind of represent it being overheated, and this time it kind of did not come up as high. It's kind of a slower curve there, and it has a red dot, which kind of indicates of like a negative push down. We also have a 17 -5 on dual band strength index, where anything over a 14 is a strong degree of certainty. So keep in mind, this is a 2-day chart, so it certainly looks like the next push down is the next couple of days are likely to be bearish. But last time we pushed down, we bounced off the 50 EMA and continued. So just because we pushed down a couple days doesn't mean we're going all the way down. We could just come down and retest the 50 EMA, which is what I'm hoping. Because when you come over here to the daily chart, you will see that, overall, Bitcoin is in an ascending, broadening channel. It's going up and to the right, and Bitcoin could really come all the way down here to 53, 54, 55,000 and still technically be in an uptrend. So hopefully a lot of the tests, it's kind of like the boss fight is the analogy I like to use. Like the 50 EMA is like the minions, all right? And if you go past the 50, then you have to fight the boss to really have like a change of direction. And the boss is the 200 EMA. So we're still above the 50 EMA on the daily for Bitcoin. The money flow is kind of a long curvature out of the green, kind of coming down in the VWAP a little bit. So things could probably go sideways for a little bit, but I'm kind of looking at a push down, like I said, from the 2-day chart to the 50 EMA, which should be like high 60s. I would really not like to see, to be honest with you, smaller time frame, 6 hour. This support resistance level at 67.2, we really don't want to see from over here. We don't want to see Bitcoin go below that. And this is more of like a local up channel here. And the price action just in the past couple hours is right on that level at 67.2. And if we lost that too much, we would actually go out of the local uptrend as well, which would kind of start a range of bearish ideas. So yeah, it things are looking down for the moment, but it doesn't have to be permanent on like day, 2-day chart.
So you're saying your next price target's likely to the downside a little, low 60s. Worst case scenario, maybe 53, 52. But even then, that wouldn't be the end of the world. We'd still be in the broader uptrend.
Yeah. And to be fair, I would kind of be looking more like 63, 64-ish. I mean, even when I come back to like a lot of like the range inside of this, like kind of like the heart of this range kind of exists between like 64 and 65. I would really, and there's a volume spike here around like 63, 64. I would really not like to see Bitcoin like go under here. We would like to stay in this value area, which would be, best case scenario for sure.
AJ, when Bitcoin inevitably breaks and sustains all-time highs again, what's your thoughts throughout the rest of the cycle? How soon till we see the cycle top? How long do you see this cycle lasting? And also, what range are you looking at?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So my like Bitcoin price prediction, honestly, is probably I would minimum 120, like minimum 120. I would like to see it push 170s, 180s, maybe even the 200s. Like I feel like we had this conversation the other night when we were hanging out at the conference, and really the perfect storm is brewing in terms of a lot of things happening in the macro. We still haven't seen the interest slashes yet. Now that both parties are fighting for the crypto vote, that we've never had crypto without the fear of regulation. Imagine crypto without being worried about the regulation. So there's like a lot of like really positive macro long-term, I could see Bitcoin going further than we expect. Personally, my personal target for Bitcoin is like 150, 160,000. And I think that would be more than fair in terms of how large Bitcoin's market cap already is. In terms of how long it will take to get there, well, some people like literally act like they've gone to the future. They saw Bitcoin, they came back, and now they're telling us exactly what happened with this cycle. And I'm like, listen, like no one can go to the future. You don't have a crystal ball. You don't have a DeLorean with a flux capacitor. It's impossible. And I'm going off the playbook. We're post-halving now. And, a year and a half after the halving has basically been it every single time, So I would like to go off the playbook. And there is kind of a shortened cycle theory that it's going to, be shorter than before. That remains to be seen. And now with the ETFs in play, I mean, I don't know, Austin, does Wall Street play the short game or is Wall Street playing the long game? That's kind of where my head's at.
Seems those Wall Street whales always play the long game.
Right. The cycle could be longer, in my opinion.
Yeah. That is great perspective. And I want to get to altcoins. But before we do that, one question as somebody who's an expert trader, meaning you do this every day, to a novice trader, I'm more of a long-term holder. What's some advice or some perspective you would give to like a new trader trying to figure out the charts?
Take your time. Like everyone's in a big hurry to get rich. Everyone they want the Lambo, they want the mansion, and they want it now. I take your time. Like I've used this analogy before. Trading is just like anything else. People think like because it's trading, they can just throw their money at it and it's just going to magically work out. But it's just like any other skill, any other activity. Like if you're going to, you want to get really good at playing basketball, you can't just get into the NBA. You got to go to the gym every day. You got to play pickup games. You got to put years and years and years of time into learning your craft. And trading's no different. People think they can just show up and throw money and win. And that does happen sometimes, but that kind of creates the illusion. The real traders that are winning consistently over time aren't looking for that out of the park $5 million trade. They want to win 5 million consistent calculated trades.
You had one altcoin that he had some TA perspective on. What is that altcoin? And
sure.
And yeah, what is that altcoin?
Yeah, so a lot of people right now would expect me to say Hedera, HBAR or Algorand or VeChain or the Graph. I was thinking about talking about Jasmy, which I do like as well, but it did kind of pop and there's not much to go off of on that chart because it's sort of in its own discovery mode. But if anyone knows me, knows that my favorite chart to trade is no other than Phantom FTM. And of all the charts I've traded in crypto, I've made the most money trading this chart. I don't know what it is about this one, but I can predict. I'm just so used to this chart that the way it moves makes a lot of sense to me. Where some charts can kind of throw like a curveball, this one makes a lot more sense. And right now, Phantom, obviously we had like this nice come up here. The Sonic upgrade has been really big news. So Phantom even has news. It came up to $1.23 here, and then kind of put in this lower high, right around $1.97. But now, there's this support resistance level that I'm watching here, and this level is at 76.8. Just under 77 cents. But when you kind of zoom in, it actually looks like Phantom is trying to put up a fight at this level, and it looks like it's fighting to stay above the 50 EMA. I'm actually looking for, this is the 12-hour chart. I'm looking for a green dot to print right here and to come up, in the oscillator in the VWAP, and maybe we can kind of continue into here and maybe fight to get to like 83 to 90 cents. If Bitcoin like turns around and loses 67, 66, I would imagine this would lose support resistance as well. But for now, on the 12-hour chart, it actually looks like a pretty good trade. I wouldn't be upset about going into like a day-long swing trade just based off of the idea of it bouncing off the support resistance level. I wouldn't be surprised to see Phantom 85, 86 in the next couple of days. It's at 79 right now, but let's hope Bitcoin plays with us.
AJ, let me ask you this: because I've heard it both ways. Some people say trading TA is horoscope for men, and some people say it's probabilities. It's the best option we have. What it probability wise? How much of it this is like? How would you define it?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and it's just like I said, like the analogy, like playing basketball, right? Like you're going to have to put in so many hours to get to a point where you actually realize, okay, this could work out, this might not work out. Because like what I do as a trader, I set really tight stop losses, tighter than most traders do. Because here's the thing, I'm cool with losing 9 trades in a row, because I'm only going to lose 5%, 4%. I can re-up on 4%. It's not like I'm trading without a stop and losing 40% of my trade. And I can lose 8, 9 trades in a row. And then on that last trade, I'm going to make it all back. So it's kind of like you can have a bad win rate and still be a profitable trader. And I think when people look at risk management in the same angle I do, in that light, they go, oh, so I don't have to risk my life every time I enter a leverage trade. Like I could do this little bites at a time. What happens is people get like emotional. It's like they're gambling. And instead of just getting stopped out, they'll move the stop loss. They'll chase the trade. No, if I get stopped out, I get stopped out. I'll just do it again. It's not, it's just like you kind of get calloused to the roller coaster. A lot of people, they're really emotional because they're not used to the swings. It's kind of like playing poker. When people, it's like if some people lost $700, they'd be like, oh no, I just lost $700. But when you play poker for years and years and years, you're like, yeah, it's only $700. We'll just keep playing. It's like that, but with trading, like it's kind of a gambling analogy. But the point is you have to get calloused and get toughened up and be ready for the roller coaster. And I think that is a really tough lesson for new traders to learn.
AJ, awesome perspective. I want to have you back on in 2-3 months, revisit these charts. Links for your channel are down below. Final thoughts for the Altcoin Daily Army.
Hey, I really appreciate you guys. Everybody, make sure you smash the like and, get rich or get wrecked. That's really what it comes down to. And that is the decision. It's not just a tagline. It's not just this thing I say. It's a decision you make every day. You can wake up earlier than everyone else and read all the articles and spend time reading books and watching videos like here on Altcoin Daily and put in the work. Or you could sleep in and eat bad and not exercise and not, do what you're supposed to do to feel like, okay, I'm making progress. Like, deep inside, am I making progress? Like, this is not a static environment. You're either moving towards your goal or moving away from it. So you're either going to get rich or get wrecked, and live in the positivity and move forward towards chase your dreams. That's what I'm saying.
I love it. Thank you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thanks so much for having me on.